So guys, today me and the squad are going to be counting this grass. If I count it all in 10 minutes, then you guys all get 10k. If I don't count it all in 10 minutes, then you guys get 100k. Yes! Kenny!
Hello everybody, it's good to see you. At the core of YouTube, behind all of the clickbait and annoying updates to the terms of service, it's definitely a collaborative thing. Video creators can find an audience, and viewers can find video creators. It's also collaborative in the sense that making videos with friends can be a lot more fun than making them by yourself, and a lot of YouTubers have figured out that making videos with friends and prominently featuring them can make the audience at home feel more included and less likely to click off of the video, which is something that YouTubers really value. Now, I'd just like to say that everything beyond this point in the video is completely theoretical. I don't know for sure which YouTubers are and aren't exploiting their friends, or if any YouTubers are. The point of this video is just to speculate, maybe start an interesting conversation. So let's get started. Since using friends to make the viewers feel more included is such a valuable asset to YouTubers, some YouTubers have tried finding what I'm going to call the perfect YouTube friend. That doesn't necessarily mean the most loyal or the most trustworthy or the most likely to walk the talk and show that they care by their actions, big and small friend. It means a friend that's just likable enough to make the audience feel included, but not steal the spotlight from the YouTuber that they're working for. We could take Jake Paul for example. I've seen a good few of his videos recently, and not only can I reconfirm that they're still not for me, but we can also see that he's making definite use of his friends to keep the videos more exciting. I focused specifically on one of Jake Paul's friends, and after 37 minutes of digging, I found that his name is Jasper, and he's suspected to be the guy writing Jake Paul's new songs. And that actually makes sense. His last two songs before his most recent that wasn't that good, they were actually okay. Like, I wouldn't listen to them. I'm more of a rock kind of guy, but they were listenable. On the topic of music, have you guys heard the new Gorillaz album? It is so good. It is definitely. You've been watching Music Lessons with Jake-Cam. The reason that it took me so long to find this guy is because Jake doesn't link his social media anywhere, even though on camera he appears to be one of Jake's best friends. This Jasper guy contributes basically nothing to the video. All he does is agree with everything Jake says and add one or two things to the conversation whenever there's some dead space, which is probably exactly why he's there. I guess we could apply the same thinking to Mr. Beast, and look, I know no one wants to be the guy that says anything negative about Mr. Beast, and I don't either, okay? But if there's anyone making use of this YouTube friends conspiracy, it's definitely him. People that have left the Mr. Beast cult have frequently mentioned that Jimmy actually kept them on payroll to be his friend on camera.
And then after that, I was no longer asked to be in any videos. I was still on payroll, still getting paid.
And it's rumored that Marcus from the Mr. Beast crew was actually laid off, or fired, however you want to put it, for some kind of drug misuse that Jimmy definitely wouldn't benefit from if that ever reached the general public. Or gosh forbid, the Hollywood Fix. You guys know the Hollywood Fix, right? It's like TMZ, except they focus on younger celebrities, some of which aren't even 18 years old. Now, I understand that having a member of the Mr. Beast crew being an outward drug addict would be a publicity nightmare, but to fire him as soon as the allegations come out seems a bit cold, and to me that seems like something that could only really happen in an all-business relationship. Also, I'd say that it's pretty safe to assume that Marcus and Jimmy were never the best of friends, because as soon as Marcus was fired, he went onto Instagram to say what he really thinks about Mr. Beast, so I think that was, I just can't, I don't think they were actually friends. But let's talk generally about the Mr. Beast crew for a bit, because whenever I'm watching a Mr. Beast video, I can't help but think that there's kind of a dictatorship going on. And by that, I mean that Jimmy is the clear alpha male of the boys, and why did I say the boys? Jimmy is the clear alpha male of the group, and his friends basically do whatever he tells them to. This is actually a reoccurring thing on YouTube though, like the vlogger David Dobrik. He is known for packing his vlogs full of crazy things, but he's never actually the one doing the crazy things. It's always his friends or other people that he relies on for content. So whether you like him or not, you cannot deny that David isn't the one making the videos interesting. He's just kind of the metaphorical spoon that feeds the metaphorical content food to the audience, making it easier to watch. I don't know why I made so many food metaphors, but I'm gonna leave that in. So whether this is a case of the perfect YouTube friend or not, I'm not sure, but what we do know is that YouTubers paying their friends to do things for content is definitely a reoccurring theme here. Also, did I mention that David Dobrik pays his friends? I probably should have put that before the last bit. Alright, I'm going off on a tangent here, so let's get back to the original question. Are YouTubers exploiting their friends? I guess the disappointing answer here is no. YouTubers technically aren't exploiting their friends. To say that YouTubers might be using their friends in a potentially degrading way would be more accurate, but even still, they are getting paid, or at least all of the ones that I've looked into are getting paid. I guess a more interesting question would be, are YouTubers treating their on-camera friends well enough? I think a few of you might be wondering, Jack, if that's the more interesting question, then why didn't you just make that the title of the video? Well, that title would be over 40 characters, and I read somewhere that that's typically too long for a YouTube title. You've been watching YouTube Tips with JCam. There is quite a bit of evidence to suggest that YouTubers are creating a hostile working environment, but I would feel pretty bad theorizing about something like that. So from now on, everything I say is open to your interpretation, and I'm going to try my best not to jump to any conclusions about anything. So let's get started. I know I've already talked about MrBeast in this video, but to be honest, his channel is just full of good examples of questionable stuff. So a little while ago, MrBeast's ex-editor Turner came out saying that MrBeast had treated him pretty badly. For example, he said he was forced to stay in his room and edit, he was verbally abused, and he had project files deleted right in front of him, so he'd have to start over again. And as someone who edits their own videos, that would actually be worse than death. He also brought up a bunch of smaller yet still very incriminating things, so if you want to get the whole picture, you can watch Turner's video about it. In fact, Turner isn't MrBeast's only editor to come out and say some bad things about MrBeast, because a YouTuber called Fly made a very similar video about his experience working with MrBeast, and he said a lot of the same bad things that Turner did. Our second and probably last piece of source material to try and answer this question comes from the Martinez twins, who I think are Spanish. Now I'll admit this happened quite a while ago, back in the days of Team 10 and the Low Gang and some other bad YouTubers, but still I think it's a really good example of YouTubers creating a hostile working environment. Basically, the Martinez twins aren't too different from any other YouTube twins. They're twins, they have a foreign accent, and those are their only two characteristics that I've seen. However, I'm sure the grand highlight of their internet controversy came from their time spent in Team 10, and for those of you that don't know, Team 10 is that group of influencers that was founded by the man himself, Jake Paul. So after the Martinez twins left Team 10, they basically came out saying that Jake bullied them for the entire duration of their stay. And I know I shouldn't be laughing at that, but to me there's just something funny about huge celebrities bullying each other, living in a house of huge celebrities. The interesting thing about these allegations though is that all of these vile acts of bullying were on camera and featured throughout Jake Paul's vlogs. The way it looks to me is that Jake just takes his jokes way too far, and to him, the idea of good content became a higher priority than the way it might impact his friends. There are definitely instances where Jake is kind of clearly bullying them. For example, there's one where there's one where he beats them both up and tases them. I would consider that bullying. But there's multiple compilations of these clips where Jake is apparently bullying the Martinez twins, and it's so funny the way that they're clickbaited. Jake Paul bullying Martinez twins. Abusive. Part 1. And the thumbnails of them are so funny, like they all use the same frame of the video, and it's like the Martinez twins on the ground, like photoshopped to look all bloody and bruised, and it's like the caption, Jake, stop hurting me. I just find that so funny how that was clickbaited. Okay, so I'll admit this video has been a bit all over the place. I kind of just wanted to talk about this one particular issue within YouTube, and to be honest, I'm not sure what specific issue I was talking about by the end of it, but let's just say there is definitely an ego-related problem with hostility in YouTubers that get famous really fast. Anyways, take all that information as you will, and I'd like to say thank you so much for watching and waiting for this video. However, luckily, I'm currently in isolation because someone in my school got coronavirus, so shout out to them for sacrificing their health so I could work on videos faster. I appreciate it. If you want some extra bonus JCam content, you might know the YouTuber N-Bird, who I have collaborated with over on his channel. It was a lot of fun. He's a cool guy. It was a fun video. If you like ARGs, check it out. But as always, I'll be responding to every single comment, and I sincerely hope that you have a nice day.